Much like how Gal Gadot was one of the only good things to come out of Batman v Superman, T'Challa, or Black Panther, I would say is one of the only good things to come out of Captain America 3 Civil War. I got my issues with that movie. It's a topic for another day. So, I was happy to see him get his own movie, and even happier with the fact that this movie is actually really good. Now, it's not the best one like everyone's making it out to be. I'm sorry. I would still hold so many of the Marvel movies ahead of this one. But the problem is, even the average Marvel movie, which this is kind of your average Marvel movie, is still really, really freaking good. The only weak link in this is actually the main character himself isn't really a main character. He's kind of you could almost say he's the audience representation of the character. He does his stuff, but throughout it, he doesn't really have much to do with the movie. It's just him reacting to the situations around him and coming to terms with what is truly best for the world. Which is good. You could say it's a coming of age. But really, this isn't his story. It's more the story of his father and his father's mistakes coming back to haunt him, and the story of Michael B. Jordan's character, the titular villain of the movie. I say villain because there's two of them, and he shows up halfway through the movie. He's in a little bit in the beginning, so you get a bit of a feel for the character, so you really kind of like him a little bit. But once he goes full villain, it's actually kind of heartbreaking to see this all pan out. So, the whole thing about this gimmick, and for the record, this is spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers for this movie, and I'm not going to try to do as much, but just be forewarned, you might get a little bit. Good movie, go see it in theaters, matinee, definitely worth a rental, definitely worth a Netflix. This is one of those Marvel movies you have to see. Like I said, even the average Marvel movie is still really freaking good. Okay, now to this. The main point of this movie is T'Challa's father kills his brother. It's almost like a Shakespearean thing, really. His father kills his brother, leaves his brother's body behind for his nephew, his brother's son, to discover. The nephew, enraged by the fact that his father has been killed, dedicates his entire life to training, to getting stronger, faster, smarter, and planning for the day where he can face the king who killed his father and avenge his father's death and take the throne that he technically by birthright has an actual claim to. Any other movie, he'd be the hero. We've seen this so many times. The king kills his brother for power, and it all unfolds. And yes, T'Challa's father didn't kill him for power, but he did it out of just reaction. And yeah, T'Challa's brother, they don't really give his name, and they give it briefly, but I'm not going to try to pronounce it. There was like two chickas in there, But when the brother was killed, it was basically out of self-defense, and the brother had become an over-the-top revolutionary. It's one of the overarching things of this movie. Do the means justify the ends? The whole point of this is everyone wants what's best for their people, Wakanda. Though you could say Michael B. Jordan's character no longer sees as Wakanda, he sees anybody black as Wakandan. So he tries to unite everybody much in the way that Hitler did. He says we unite the race, we stand together, we are one tribe, we fight, and we kill anything that stands in our way or even remotely opposes. We kill them, we kill their children, we kill every single thing. Literally, it's page 1 of Mein Kampf. So you kind of feel not sympathy for this character, but when he's in his human moments, when he actually lets down the facade and his vengeance override him, there's actually a lot of depth to it. Really, he's gone his entire life with this conception that Wakanda's this paradise, it's this beauty, and he's scared that it's going to be destroyed. He's scared it's going to be lost. He's scared that everything else will collapse around him because the world, to his eyes, has taken everything from him, and he wants to get it back. And this is the problem with this movie. A lot of this is not truly about T'Challa's journey. It's more about Killmonger's journey and T'Challa's reactionary stuff around it. And yes, he's still the main character, don't get me wrong. But T'Challa really doesn't have that much in terms of character development. He has one opening scene, which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. He has the ritual scene where he becomes the king of Wakanda again. It happens. With a really cool fight scene on the waterfall with introduce... I don't know what you would call this, but, gorillas. So, peek behind the scenes. when Black Panther was created, they actually had a couple of tribes who represented different factions within Wakanda, each of them representing a different type of animal. Lion, gazelle, zebra, panther, and ape. Now, one of those I might have gotten wrong. It's been a while since I've read them. But, yeah, there was a clan of apes, and a reoccurring villain was called White Ape, which was a giant African-American man dressed up as a white ape. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Saying to the point that this movie actually dropped the name White Ape and called him Mabuku, which I'm pretty sure actually translates to ape, but I don't know Swahili that well. So, that's a little bit awkward, especially when they start hooping and hollering to make somebody be quiet. It gets kind of weird. But they're enjoyable, and the banter is nice, and the action could have been better. It's kind of like if I was really close up like this and I was shaking the cam. It wasn't really shaky cam, but it was very jarring, and it could have been centered better. Moving it like maybe 3 feet back, and you could have seen a lot more. It would have been really great. But the choreography, when you can see it and make it out, is really good. It shows that not even T'Challa is the best warrior in his, nation. Okay, he technically is, but there's a lot that can go toe-to-toe with him, and if it wasn't for the Black Panther's vibranium armor, he would be in a very bad state. And the weapons they use incorporates traditional African weapons with modern technology and the advanced stuff of Wakanda. It's really good. Like the shawls they have, you swing to the side and you can make a shield. The spears have the ability to shoot energy out of them, or their weapons actually are coated with vibranium to be able to repel most attacks. It's actually kind of cool to watch, and it almost makes me want to see a spin-off series of just Wakanda itself, much in a Game of Thrones-esque style. But that's never going to happen because no one's going to betray T'Challa. At least, not till the inevitable sequel, Black Panther 2, after Infinity War's 8. Yeah, so overall, it's pretty good. I'm not saying it's the best one, and I'm not going to say I'm going to, actively go and want to see it again like I did Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. But this clearly has a niche market for it, and it's a very good one. Especially, and I can't believe I'm going to bring this up, I normally stay away from the political stuff, but here's the facts. Fact number 1. To the media, if you somehow get a hold of this, stop making up facts! Seriously, he is the first African-American-led superhero. So, Steel didn't exist, Spawn didn't exist, Catwoman didn't exist, or this little thing that had 3 movies, I don't know if you've heard of it, called freaking Blade? Jesus. Do your research. Seriously, my biggest gripe with this movie outside of the movie itself is everyone is praising this movie without talking about it, saying how progressive it is, how amazing it is, without going into any detail or giving this the actual depth it deserves. Michael B. Jordan is one of the best villains we have had since Loki. And to some degree, Helena. I know it's not saying much because Marvel villains ain't that good, but trust me, he actually has depth and character to him that actually puts him ahead of a lot of this stuff. You feel sympathy for this guy to some degree before he starts quoting Mein Kampf. Get over it. The set designs are amazing. The green screen works perfectly with this to the point where you feel like it's truly in Africa, which a lot of scenes were shot in Africa and Korea. You'll figure it out. So it's actually really good. And throughout this, there's this overarching sense of, yes, while T'Challa isn't the main character and you see this progression, it for once feels real. It doesn't feel like it's forced. It doesn't feel like this character is driving everything and it is all about him. It feels like it's a real-world event that is unfolding, and it's something new we haven't seen in these Marvel movies, so I'm happy to see it. Like I said, it might technically not be the greatest thing to have your main character not be the main character to some degree, but you know what? It's fun to actually just enjoy an event unfold and not feel like, oh, it's all about T'Challa. It's all about T'Challa. When in reality, a lot of the other side characters play a big part in this. Now, I feel a lot of this stuff got cut. Like his romance with Nakiwa, something, Nico. Love interest. Who's really cool and has some good fight scenes, but yeah, there's not that much chemistry between them. They try to be, but not really. So you gotta deal with that. And there's a whole thing between him and his best friend, and his best friend is married to the general of his royal guard, and they love each other, but then stuff happens, but they never actually connect or deal with it. It seems very rushed how his best friend goes from always having his back, saying, I would go to war with you, I would die for you, I would fight everyone to save Wakanda for you, to betraying him. And I know the impetus as to why, and I'm not going to say why that happened, but it feels very just rushed. It feels like, and I know he's coming from a bad place because it literally just happened a few minutes ago when he was upset, but still, these guys have known each other for years. They have fought beside each other for years. This dude's got marks on his face because Wakandan warriors, whenever they kill someone, they're supposed to mark themselves. He's got a couple of marks on him, so he's done a lot of stuff for the country. So it's tough to see him just flip. And I know it's for plot convenience because Killmonger needs his army. He needs his loyal soldiers so we can have a big war fight in the end, which is kind of cool. But it feels kind of just hollow. But, I mean, that's really all I can nitpick, guys. Overall, it's a fun movie. The action is really great when you can see it. The choreography is good. The characters, even though they may not get the spotlight all the time, feel real and developed to some degree. They don't feel one note. Except Bratty Little Sister, but Bratty Little Sister, you take what you can get. And, yeah, it's actually a really good movie. And it's one of those ones I actually do really recommend. It's not going to be major setup for Infinity War. It's not going to be like the unless it somehow is. It's not going to be big for Ant-Man and Wasp, most likely. So, you're not going to miss much in the overarching story. But this is one of those movies I feel needs to be watched. It actually is a very good Marvel movie. Not as good as the last two, but it still deserves your attention. It still deserves the praise. Just praise it for the right reason. And if you are to praise it, I beg you, keep your dang mouth shut in the theater, for crying out loud. Not everything requires... T'Challa stood up. Oh no, he hit someone. Worst audience since Medea. Literally, the entire front 2 rows was full of this family that would not shut up or clapping their hands or woo! The movie theater is not your home. People pay money to go see this. Be respectful and be quiet. I've always said, I have no problem with you like, dude, you just punch him in the face. Stuff like that. Like small conversation, quiet conversation, small stuff that is going to not interrupt other people and take them out of the movie and the disconnect. Now, applauding is okay for key moments, and you can tell when it's actually the moment for a key applaud. In fact, most movies are geared to have those moments for key applaud. Like Michael B. Jordan's movie before this that I enjoy, Creed, there's a distinct moment when he gets up and the music starts. He does this whole thing like Rocky used to. There's a pause, and that's like kind of the moment where you just go, woo, or clap, or whatever. That type of thing is okay. Mostly because everyone's in on it, and that's an actual moment for that, and you clap, and then you're done. You don't need it in every single Marvel movie because a Marvel character stands up, shows his face, or does something. Thankfully, that's no longer the case for Stan Lee. Yeah, he's in this movie. Sorry, spoiler for that. So, out of that rant I've been building up for us for the last half hour is finally over and done with. Final thoughts, guys. Like I said, good movie. It's not the best, but it's definitely worth the watch. Don't let some of the, if you're concerned about the politics, because a lot of the reviews delve into that, trust me, you're not going to get much. If you read into it, you will, but it's not in your face like some of the stuff I've seen. It's not over the top. And the movie itself is a very good, solid ride. Definitely a movie watch. Definitely a matinee. IMAX, you're probably not going to get much out of it. But it's definitely one to see. If not just for the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is actually really good in this movie too. Mixed in a whole bunch of styles. So, Black Panther, I would say overall a good movie. Fun to watch, and hopefully I get to see more of him we will see more of him in Infinity War, so. Anyway, guys. It's nice to finally see an actual good movie. Hopefully this trend continues. I don't know what's coming out next week, but I'm sure it's going to be hopefully good. Maybe. Hopefully. I don't know what it is. I'm scared now. Anyway, it's Kevin Riley, guys. I'll sign off, and I'll see you all next time. Later. Oh, wait. Black Panther. I should do this right. Later.